Alright, how's it going, guys? Welcome to episode 2 here of the Minecraft Explain series, and today we are going to be talking about iron farms. For Java edition only, basically. But as you can see here, I've got a bit of a wall with some signs on it, and these kind of explain some of the mechanics of how iron farms work. So I'm briefly just going to go over some of these. So there's two methods you can basically use to spawn iron golems. So we have method 1 over here, which is basically to get villagers to panic. Alright, and then we've got method number 2 over here, which is just gossiping. Alright, get the villagers talking and they can spawn iron golems. So what we're going to do first is we're going to go over the panicking method, basically. So for this, basically you need a minimum of 3 villagers to be able to do this, and those villagers mustn't have detected an iron golem in the last 30 seconds, and iron golems spawn in a 8 by 8 by 6 radius centered on the villager that caused that golem to spawn. And golems spawn in a 16 by 6, well, you know, they can potentially spawn in a 16 by 16 by 16 block area. And zombies have a panic radius, because we're going to use zombies in this example, of 8 blocks. And there are a couple of common things between both these methods. So the iron golem spawn radius is the same between the methods, but also this here, villagers must have slept in the last 20 minutes. And if you're going to have multiple villager pods, they should be 10 by 10 by 10 blocks apart, so they don't interfere with each other. So now if we just quickly go over here, we'll talk about the gossiping method now, which requires a minimum of 5 villagers. They also must have not detected an iron golem in the last 30 seconds. And they also have the same spawn radius of 8 by 8 by 6 blocks centered on the villager. So if I just turn around over here, I have a villager here. And these red glass basically shows you the area of which an iron golem can spawn. So, you know, it could spawn on any of these blocks down around here in this kind of area. The spawn radius is actually a sphere, but I couldn't be bothered making a sphere, so this is just an easy visual representation on where iron golems might spawn based on the center of this villager, which is this bamboo block here. Well, that's what I used, at least anyway. It might not be the most accurate representation, but I just wanted a visual aid here to help kind of explain my point. But moving on from talking about the mechanics here on the wall and about the spawn radius here, how about we just get into some farms? So with method 1, talking about panicking, and we're going to use zombies to make villagers panic and spawn iron golems. So we have 3 farms for each of these methods. So if I come over here, as you can see, a golem just spawned. Now this is a little micro iron farm. Basically what we have here is we have a zombie here and a cauldron. We have our beds for our villagers so they can sleep. We have a gate and a daylight sensor. So at night time the gate closes, and then the zombie can then scare the villagers and they can sleep for a little bit, which means they can then spawn zombies. Oh, spawn golems, I mean. And then the golems just end up dying due to the campfire there, and we have some glitched minecarts here, and boom, iron. Now, this iron farm design is not very efficient. it takes way too long to kill the zombies, but if you had the stuff and you needed to quickly whip up an iron farm, you can build this one in about 10 minutes. But yeah, that's just one example of using the panicking mechanic. Yeah. And now we'll just go over to this one here. See, Iron Golem just spawned. Gets killed way quicker than the one over there. This one is a little bit more complicated to build though. Not that much more complicated. We do have like a redstone clock down here. We have our zombie. It just gets pushed up by the piston. Our villagers can sleep when it's nighttime. And yeah, it's just real simple little mechanics here. This farm does take probably 15 to 20 minutes to build. But yeah, it's way more efficient than the first one that I showed you guys over there. Mainly because it's using lava. Lava does deal a little bit more damage. However, with this one, if you wanted to, you could swap out this campfire for a soul campfire, which will kill the iron golems a little bit quicker. So yeah, we kind of have this one here. This uses all the mechanics that we talked about over there. We're using a zombie to scare the villagers, and then, you know, once every 30 seconds, if not a little bit sooner, you'll spawn another golem here. Villain doesn't instantly get killed, but gets pushed in lava, dies pretty quickly. We collect its bits in this chest over here, and voila, iron farm. So the mechanics of an iron farm are really simple. Like, these panicking ones require a little bit more effort to build. But yeah, definitely worth it. And we'll head on over to this farm over here. So as you can see, we've got two pods. We've got a pod here and we have a pod here. Now these pods are the exact same as what we have over here. Uses the exact same mechanics, the exact same redstone, but we have two of them. So we have this pod here, and then we have this pod here. Now these pods are a sufficient distance apart, so this pod over here can independently spawn golems, and so can this one over here. Hence, really easily doubling our efficiency. Yeah, I'll talk about a couple of little tips and tricks later about, you know, if you're having some problems with some of your iron farms, how you can resolve them. But yeah, that's kind of what we got going on here for the panicking side of things. Starting to get a bit late. Let's see whether we can get... Yep, we got another spawn. Just gonna quickly swap over to day. There we go. Let's see if we can get a good example of both the pods spawning golems together. If you are having an issue where this pod's not always spawning golems, or one of the pods is not always spawning golems, you might just need to move the pods a little bit further away from each other. But yeah, I don't know whether we're gonna get one here. I was testing this and it definitely did work, but yeah, to fix that kind of a problem, you just basically need to move one pod a little bit further away. But yeah, we should be getting reasonably good zombies, iron golem spawns, sorry, every about 30 seconds here, if not a little bit sooner. Come on. Now that I'm recording this video, it's not going to do it. Oh, there goes one. Are we going to get one from the other pod? Yep, and there's the other one. Sweet. Now let's just head back over to our signs over here. As you can see, we are only using 3 villages in each of these pods. That's all you need. You don't need any more than that in a pod. Which is a little bit easier to get up and running, but if you can get 3 villages, you can definitely get 5. So if we look at method number 2, gossiping, we've got some gossiping farms over here. This is an iron farm. Like, this is a starter iron farm that I would build. Basically, it contains 5 villages. They talk to each other. They spawn golems up here. Golem falls down, gets burnt in lava. You don't actually have to have this drop. I just do that. I'm not entirely sure why I do that, but it's just how I've always built this farm in particular. But if I come down here, as you can see, this is reasonably efficient. Like, any of these farms are going to be reasonably efficient if you build them in your spawn chunks. Yeah. Let's see if we can get a spawn here in a second. Now, the big problem with these gossiping farms, though, is that at nighttime, the villagers will spawn no golems. So if you want golems to be spawning all the time, build one of these panicking farms. Like, if you want golems spawning 24/7, I would recommend building this farm right here. This one here works really well. But coming back over to here, see, golem's dead. Boom. More iron. You'll be surprised how much iron you can get out of one of these, well, out of this farm, if you build it, you know, inside your spawn chunks. It works out really well, particularly for early game. But if you don't want to build something this big, you can build this one over here, which is basically the exact same principles as that one, but way smaller. So yeah, here once again, we have 5 villagers, they gossip, and then we get iron golems spawning up here. Now, with the way that iron golems spawn, this small of a spawn area, I could be wrong on this, but this small of a spawn area could actually affect the efficiency of this farm. Like, that farm over there has way more iron than this farm, and I built them basically at the exact same time. Like, I built that one first and I immediately built this one, and the efficiency of this farm doesn't even compare to that one. But if you don't have a lot of space, this is really good. If you don't have a lot of resources, you will still get some iron. And once you've got more resources, you can either build a bigger iron farm, maybe like that one, or the really big one at the end, or then you can start dabbling into the ones that have a bit of redstone in them. But yeah, are we gonna get a spawn? Come on. Yeah, I just don't think the spawn area on this farm here is big enough, but obviously you can extend this platform out more. You could probably have a 7x7 and then have these walls actually overhang the platform, which is what is over here. So if you look here, these walls actually overhang the platform. The walls are basically only there just to hold the golems in. But yeah, that's another option for a gossiping iron farm. And very much like this one over here, we have 2 pods. The pod design here is the same as this bottom section here. And instead of having one, we have 2. We've got one here, and we've got one here. And we've got plenty of iron in here. And then, you know, basically the exact same idea as here. Two pods that shouldn't interfere with each other means that hopefully once every 30 seconds we get 2 iron golems. So hopefully we will get 2. No, my luck, now that I'm recording this video, we won't. But once again, if you think one pod is interfering with the other one, then just move the pods further away from each other. That should lower that risk. But those pods are definitely more than 10 blocks away from each other. In all the axes. In all the axes. There goes one. Hopefully we should see another one coming up soon. But yeah, if you do want to see how to build an iron farm, I do have a tutorial on how to build this iron farm in my Minecraft how-to series. So yeah, feel free to, you know, find that video on the old YouTube channel. I might link it at the end of this video actually. Hopefully I remember to do that. But yeah, earlier I was saying that sometimes you might have some issues with, say for example, I quite often have issues with golems clipping into the wall. So sometimes, particularly down here, so down here for example, sometimes I'll get golems that clip into the wall here and then they die of suffocation damage rather than in the lava. So to prevent that, I've also had issues with it happening up here where they spawn. So to prevent golems from accidentally spawning halfway through into the wall, right? That's what these signs are here for. So if a golem does kind of spawn really hard up against this wall, that sign pushes them out a little bit so they don't clip into the wall. Oh, that iron golem spawned all the way down there. But as you can see, I have that on basically all of these farms. I have the signs just to prevent the iron golems from clipping into the wall and making sure that they do end up in the death trap. The only farms I don't have that on is this one here, and I don't have it on this one either because I haven't come across that issue with this design. And I think that's partially because all of the blocks that the golem can spawn on have flowing water on them. So as soon as they spawn on one of the blocks, they immediately get picked up by the flowing water. Here, for example, don't really have that issue, but here's another problem. This iron golem is not touching that campfire, which means he's not going to... Oh, see, he clipped straight on through. So I would say that that iron golem spawned on this far side of that block and was clipped partially into these slabs. So I could put some signs there to perhaps prevent that. Let me just switch back over to day. So yeah, I have that exact same mechanic, well, that same idea here with these signs. Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of the core mechanics of how iron farms work. So all of this information here on this board I got from the Minecraft wiki. So if you ever need to know something about Minecraft, just go look it up on the Minecraft wiki. That's where I learned the vast majority of how, you know, the game mechanics work and stuff. So yeah, I hope you guys really enjoyed this video, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.